Okay, I think we are in business. So, good morning. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. This is how you get a hold of me if you have any questions or you'd like to pass to the room. TRADEnPerform@gmail.com. Let's see. I know what I have that I didn't bring up. There we go. If you'll take a moment to read this, past performance not indicative of future results. You can lose a lot of money trading futures. I would highly suggest you use Apex Futures Funding or Top Step Trader to learn your way around futures at first. Make sure you have a solid process that has a proven edge and work from there. So I want to go back to the basics. Yesterday I was working on a problem. I was frustrated. You know, the algo really reveals things that are important because they show structure in a way that's helpful. In other words, when I'm teaching y'all how to trade, a lot of times I'll go, oh, I've forgotten one key piece or a piece that's pretty important within this structure, right? And I'll go, this is how we fix that problem, right? And I'll say, oh, well, we do this or we do that, but I've forgotten. So yesterday I was talking to Bill, and the way I had the trading running, one of the ways I had the trading running is first I would go use the 25 cent to enter the trade. Can y'all hear me? Hold on one second. Oh, hold on, let me fix it. Sorry, thank you guys. Where are you using? Oops. So. Share screen. Sorry about that. Now how are we? Good? Problem fixed, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So what I figured out is if you just do a basic concept, right? So go back to what we've always taught. Before you go short or before you go long, you need a pink bar outside the channel or a purple bar outside the channel. Now you'll see I've extended that to the 25 cent. It's just an experiment, right? As to whether or not I'm going to take that or how I'm going to take that. Let's just assume I'm watching right now. But the other thing that you'll notice that is important, okay, and we had an example of it here this morning in this pattern, right, where you get, see how you get trap star? There's a second chance on these trades quite often. So see you get star trapped into star, which I love that trade, right? Star stopped out, trap back in, long, right? But see this stutter step down right here. So I'm going to put the bar line on the bar next to it. That's right here. Usually you can take either the next 25 cent algo up. It requires an 8-point stop to make sure you don't get clipped on this. Here, I'll show you. It happens over and over again. Usually 8 keeps you in, so let's assume that's 10.5. The low on that bar is 3. So if you have an 8, that's 0.250, and that's more than enough if you want to push 9. But that's the stop on that trade to keep you in that trade, right? Versus if you enter here, right? This is your entry here at 13, and your stop is down here at 0.1. So it's 12. It's 9 versus 12 in there. But the whole point of that is you get your down bar right here, and you really want the long on the first bar back up, right? So either the star or the orange dot over star in this particular case, I would say on the 25 cent. But it changes the order in which I look for it, because before I was going take orange dot. So if you watch, what I'm doing is I'm going, okay, we've got purple bar. I wanted to show this morning. Where is it? Why aren't these linked? Let's fix that. F5, number 4, 5, 4, chart drawings, 3, 9, 20. There you go. So So now there's two things that are going on here. First of all, I'm saying, hey, let's get a purple bar over here, right, which is normal, and then go through that whole 25 cents. So I don't want to cause confusion, right? All I'm saying is when I get this purple bar right here, so I'm going to draw a line on it, right? That's where I get the purple bar, right? So generally speaking, what I want is the first. So if I'm mega aggressive, which I am, I want to take on the 25 cent this first orange dot up, right? Now, on the other hand, if I'm not mega aggressive and I'm not trading off the 25 cent, the way my process is going to work here, and this is important even though we don't trade this time frame. There obviously was econ at 7:30, so star one, that's entry, stop. Just assume minus 15 on this for mathematical purposes. Okay, so it's easy math. Minus 15, entry number two. Again, same 15-point stop. They're both traps into stars, right? But this one gives you a run from 02 up to 27, which puts you into profitability, right? The third way to do that is to wait. If you don't want to take it off the bottom, wait till you get the lift. You have the algo up, look for the down bar. Now this is where this becomes challenging. You don't always get the down bar, right? And then for me, I want the orange dot up. If it's the second bar, you have to put your stop below the low, but generally just assume this is going to be an 8 to 10 point stop for the rip to the upside. What Bill mentioned that was very interesting in our conversation yesterday, we're always trying to solve problems, and I'm not talking about the technical problems that I was having yesterday. I was talking about very specifically we run these Autobots overnight, and like I said, the Autobots are really great because they do exactly what you tell them to do. Okay, and the number one complaint about my teaching over the years has been, Simon, you don't know what you know, right? I'm going to say that again. You don't know and you don't know what you know, and especially once you've accumulated 30 years, it takes a while to unwind that all and unpack it all. So in this case, we had 3 bricks. Let's just assume that way, and the order those bricks have to go in. What I was doing was putting this brick first, and really what I should have been doing is going and looking for the purple bar here or outside the channel, and then going over here and looking for the trade. Now I know that because I can see the difference in the results from the auto trader, right? And so really nothing's changing. You're still looking for you're looking for everything you were looking for before. But all this is doing is you're waiting for the momentum to turn over here, and then what you'll notice once it's turned, i.e. either you've gone supernova over here, or you are getting the purple bar showing exhaustion over here, or the dots down, even over here. Now you're looking for the algos to kick in as opposed to starting here and then moving right to left, right? So there's 2 ways to do it. The aggressive way to do it is to wait for the purple bar outside the channel. I'll use the 24 tick because that's what we've always used. So technically, if you look at this rotation down, the way I would start the process now is first I'm going to go purple bar down, outside the channel. So you can do it inside the channel too, it's just much more aggressive, right? So purple bar down, that starts right here. Actually, it starts earlier, but we'll do, let's do this one here. So I would have marked that off here, really. Right, so we'll go back over here. There that is, right? Now the next thing I want, right? Next thing I want is I want the orange dots up. And you'll see in this sequence that this is the orange dot that released a long time later because it was overnight, right? But that was the orange dot that released. And then I want to scale, and at 3 bars I want to move stop to break even, right? And then you'll notice within that context, so this is very small on the 25 cent, and obviously the market didn't move last night. Like, we were pretty tight, right? But if you look at the entries after that point, here I can show you. Look at the entries after that point. So it's marked down there, and then the next thing I go is like, okay, I want purple bar, then orange dot on this. So purple bar, orange dot. That one paid. Purple bar, orange dot. That one got break even and stopped you. Right? I really don't want them to lift. I really want them on the turn. Right? Purple bar, orange dot, lift, and that was the big lift there at 7:30 in the morning. It was probably impossible to catch because it's probably econ. And now we're back in the same place. Right? And then the other thing I want to do is don't let this don't let this fool you. It's too tight, right? You would actually be better off not paying attention to that, in my opinion. And I'm probably going to try to trade with it off. Chart analysis studies Keltner channel. Right. So that's how I'll have my Keltner channel today. Because what's happening is I'm getting to the top of that Keltner channel and it's a valid entry based on the other two charts. That Keltner channel is just too tight for invalidating trades, right? So that's how it'll work. And I don't have anything else besides that, guys. We're looking for, just like in the video I did last night, tweezers bottoms, super traps off the bottom. We're trading to the long side. We're using the 5-minute initial balance to determine who's in control and who's not in control. And if you look from yesterday on that, you can just see once we established buyers are in control, right? Got back above. That's an orthodox close on a smaller tick right there. And you should have just been looking for pullbacks for longs at that point. Trying to short this. I've done this game. Can it be done? Yeah, like that's a nice short if you catch the top, but you're getting into catching the top game and it can really suck, right? So this morning you can see we're opening up just underneath settle, where we settled at 3 p.m. Right, I used the 3 p.m. settle price. Some people use the 3:15. I'm using it at 3 o'clock. Okay, and then the first question you have if you want to look for shorts, right, is you have to trade underneath Wednesday's low, right? You have to be underneath the 5-minute, obviously, to begin with, right? You have to get back inside Friday's high because that was the rejection initially that we got above. So that white line where that Friday's high is going to be critical. This is going to act as support underneath and should drive, that's the IB low from yesterday, drive us back up potentially to test Friday's high or higher, right? And then buyers gain control above or below the 5-minute that'll be set once we open. And then econ wise, February 8th. Okay, we have U.S. wholesale inventories, that's neutral. Nothing between 8 and 9. Nothing between 8:30 and 9. ECB Elderson is speaking now. And then ECB's Lane speaks at 9:30. Barkin speaks at 11 a.m. I won't be here for that, so rock on. And then important, at 12 noon, 30-year bond auction. That has been moving the market. Hey Siri, set an alarm for 11:55, bond auction.
Done.
Okay, so that's my 2 cents about today, and I'm looking for the same setups as yesterday. So just as a 100-foot back away for a sec, guys, if you remember the last time we had this PA was in October, right? And I said I will change the process, or I will adapt the process so that these days no longer befuddle us. And we've accomplished that goal. Not everyone's killing it, okay, but enough people are, and no one is getting killed. Like there's no one just like I'm just getting drilled day after day. Just doesn't happen. Okay? No one's getting drilled. So just keep that in mind. It just does not matter. If the market keeps going up, we'll find ways to pull money out of it. It's not our ideal market. We would like higher volatility within a wide balance range and some speed, right? But that's okay. We're adapting to what we have, right? So I'll take questions from the room, not from YouTube, but I'll take questions from the room if anyone has any questions as to what they're performing. Oh, and then blue dot star is important over here. Blue dot stars on the outside in the direction of are important setups. So I'm just reversing the position, and what I'm asking for first is a purple bar over here. Then I'll go to the 25 tick chart and go to work. And I will be executing on a, oh, that's weird. Why do I have, what's this account number? Hold on one sec, let me make sure my, let's disconnect and reconnect. Let's reload, recalculate. Let's make sure I have everything on 3 days. Limiting. Okay. Okay. Do we match, guys? Ed, there are no supply, no demand bars, and they're an experiment for me. I think, so going back to our conversation from yesterday, I'll show you how to put them on later today. But they're the pink and purple from over here. And if you need to duplicate it, just turn this. If you need to duplicate this to see what the no supply demand bars are until I come up with a better solution, meaning I have to fix this chart. This is from another DLL that I can't distribute. Not yet. So the way you do that is you take your 24 tick Renko and turn it into a 10 tick and you'll get the purple bars. So the purpose behind that is if you'll notice on the orange dots up, if they're preceded by a purple bar, their win rate, especially if it's on purple bar, then turn bar dot, purple bar, turn bar dot. This goes from our conversation in our coaching session yesterday that you're getting a lot better response off the orange dots, right? Yeah, I know it's not. So I'll fix it and redistribute, but I can't do it right this second. So the way to do it is just take the 24 tick, pop it into a 10 tick, and you'll have the same thing. So, but after our conversation, I was kind of turning around in our head and what, just like I noticed, get the purple bar outside the fourth channel over here first, or at least the purple bar down over here, and then, the setup that you and I went through in detail. I know I don't have to cover that again, but then on the turn, the orange dot tends to work very effectively at that point. So that's what I'm working towards. So it's a bit of an experimental that. And then I remove the, as you can see, I removed the Keltner channels off that 25 tick. So I'll be relying on this. I'm forcing myself to rely on this and this for extensions and over extensions. And I'm just going to make one quick adjustment here. And that's it. Let's see where the market takes us this morning. You don't have to do it that way. I agree, Ed, but it solves a problem for us if you'll look carefully. We can get rid of you'll notice I'm not doing it over here, and it is for later discussion. And there's other elegant ways you can do this without having the whole bar painted, but I didn't have time to put a smaller algo on there or a smaller indicator of the algo. So I agree with that idea. So no objection to that at all. I agree, actually. I just haven't thought of a solution yet. And I was up pretty late trying to figure out a solution. So I don't like I'll probably change these purple bars to squares within because it is, as Ed's pointed out, it's extremely busy and needs to be altered. Here's our key levels from yesterday. Wednesday's high, looking for the establishment of the low, support, Friday's high, right? And then yesterday's low. And again, we have to, the first step in getting a reversal, if you want one, is getting that trade to get below and hold below. Usually big breaks or reversal breaks come with gap downs, not, this is inside, which is fine, but that's usually how it rolls out, right? Not through that IB low section. Pretty tight range to open the day. IB's only 20 to like 48, 22 points. Time to break that IB high. Potential trap into star down. Attempt to establish above IB high. That does not count on the 25 cent. It's establishing buyers are in control. Slow burn in the first 30. for sure. It's a pretty strong down bar right there. Look at all the colors on that 50 cent. Two dots and a white bar and a star on a super trap into a star down. That's usually pretty money for a downside move. Most of the time, idea you've got a downside move coming there. It's just one in the open. Your target would be IB low right now. And then after that, it would be that 17,780. And I am not short. Looking for longs in all the wrong places. It's a little 1980s bad country music line. Oh, there she goes. That's a very good setup right there. Y'all should take a snapshot of that. It's very good. If you want a short, that's what you want to short right there. I'll take a picture of it for you. Also have that recorded, so I'll post that on YouTube, so if you want to go back and see that later, guys. I'll post the video if you want to see it live, but that was pretty much picture perfect for a short setup, and a long setup is the inverse. For some reason, Modular Auto Trader did not take its trades. Yes, yes, yes. Points, distance from entry. I'll have him look at it later. That's fine. So see here how he came down? You get the orange dot down outside the channel. That's right here. You get the purple bar off to the left, right? So the orange dot up. So this is the trap into the orange dot outside after getting the purple bar when it's outside the channel. And your ability to lift off of that, remember that the only attraction to that 25 cent is this how small the stop is on that trade, right? That's really what we're looking at and going, hey, that would be great if we could get that, right? And so that's why we're looking at that going, yeah, I really like that. As it is, it looks like I'm gonna have to manually execute all this today because the auto trader, I have it designed so it'll take it, but didn't work. So that's fine, I'll just have it redesigned. We have not established an orthodox close on the 50 cent above or below the initial balance. So no one's in control micro time frame. And again, what I really want is the algo in the direction, one bar or a few bars down, that first bar to be the stop, the entire entry on that trade. We have econ in 13 minutes, not important econ. Again, there's no motivated sellers, right? Which is why that's that same move underneath the 5-day moving average, right? If you look over here, that's all the way down here at 17,377. You got a long way to go before you're underneath that moving average. Miles, right? Miles and miles and miles before you get past that. So just remember that. And it's right now it's a 800.33746 500-point drop. So it's more likely they're going to let that catch up than we are going to drop down to it, or let it catch up some. it's not responding negatively or positively. Tweezer's top for a head and shoulders pattern there. You're right in front of econ. Again, buyers nor sellers have established. super trap, orange dot star, trap back in. Again, buyers have established control, so they're going to try and absorb that 5-minute IB there. Grinder. Short's getting closed again. Quite a little battle going on there. Well, might as well sit back. There's no speed, there's no range. You just see who enjoys that fight and who gets the win. I don't know. Buyers are in overall control, but that wasn't very convincing. It looks tired. But again, you got to get below 17, 8, 19 now. come up on Globex high, just tagged it. Tag the Globex high and trap back into IB low. We'll see what IB high. Again, this is not exactly exciting price action. That's got to be the cash market, right? Yeah, that's fine. So translate that. What does that mean for us? That just slow grind into 5? Oh, well, that makes sense. If they don't get front run. Futures aren't budging an inch. So that account is designed to swing. So take that size. We're trying to get bigger moves. And it's at 15 points. It has a maximum of $1,000 loss before they cut it off a day. So you can only trade one contract, but you try to get bigger moves. And it doesn't matter if it comes back up. By hitting short, it can go 30 points in my favor and come back and stop. As long as I don't lose money, I'll try to make a difference to the status of the account. Unlike on that account where they count it penny for penny when it advances. So that one's down 10, which is fine. It's choppy. And that one's up 15. And it's a slow market, so that's All of that is good. All of that is just fine. It'll pick up somewhere. So you can go, if you need to go, you can go.
Yeah, I'll go take her. Go pick up that thing at Target.
That's fine, there's nothing going on here.
Okay, when I come back, I'll check in. Okay.
It's fine. Grinder, guys, grinder. So I'm looking, before I'm remotely looking for longs, I'd like to get down in this area. Or this area. One of the two, right? Obviously, the closer the IB low, the better, because that's what everyone else is looking at. And this is a snooze-a-rama for me. So I'm going to mute out for a minute, and I assume we'll break one way or the other. But if we don't, I don't want to get caught in chop. By the way, I got that Top Step Trader account working. I was just playing with it this morning to make sure I have all the pieces working. It's up 14.75. And I shorted this up here and already covered. And I took a long here. Again, I was just testing to make sure it's working, but it's up. It's one contract it trades, one for a swing. So my idea behind that is that I'll focus more on the swing as that develops, right? Both short and long, with much wider stops on that account. That account can't lose more than $1,000 a day without getting shut down. So I can't show you a picture. It's on another computer. I can just take a picture of it, but it finally got fixed. And so I will be pointing out when I'm like, hey, we could swing from here, I'll take it in Top Step, as opposed to pure scalp. And my hope is that I'll improve my swings from that. I want to get off the micro scalps. There's nothing wrong with them, but I want to also make sure I have my head on for the room for where the larger swing opportunities will come from and where the frustrations and the opportunities come from that. But that's what I've done so far. And you can see it's one contractola. It's still $300. It's all good, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And we're just going to duke it out here for a minute. So it's a good time for me not to waste my effort trying to figure this area out. I'll be back in a moment. Mic check, mic check. Tweezer's top up here. Just be aware you're gonna have to work your way through if you're gonna short that. Entries at 50. Stop is 62, 64, somewhere in there. Really 64 if you hit that. Hey guys. Hey, potential tweezers top up here. You're looking for, it has to close 50 and you'd like an algo inside of that, right? And then you have to work through buyers all the way through here to get it down. Just FYI. That same setup below that IB low, yeah. Or even established sellers in control and then up into the IB. So if you want an early start on that, tweezer's top, you can use the 25-cent pink bar orange dot down. If you're trying to short it, you got to accept buyers are in overall control, right? So the answer there is cut size and just do it gently, right? So buyers are in control. You don't want it above 63, like use the 63.75 stop. Or if you want to do it perfect, you just do it 60 because it shouldn't close back up into that. But again, you're going to have to expect that someone's going to try and push that back up against you. ES is not rolling over, right? So just, and cut size. And they stop it. And that has to be for aggressive trades. That's why I said cut size, and longs are the focus of the rim, right? So you're on 60 with the star down on the trap again. Again, this will now be a super trap into a B grade super trap is what it is. Again, I would cut size if you're taking that trade and just manage it from there. You're stopping, you go at 66 and a quarter from that 59. Again, you're trying to swing that. So now your objective is to swing that all the way through that initial balance. So you'd have to expect that someone's going to come back and go, hey, IB, I'm going to buy it, right? So it hasn't broken yet. So if you're working, what you're really working for those who are trying to swing that, is you're working for the move all the way through that range. Excuse me a second. All the way down to the bottom, and then get it underneath. You can swing it all the way through if you're doing that. So I'm doing that with one contract, and I got stopped the first time, and I took it the second time. So, and now I'm just sitting there. So the idea is on top step, because I don't get penalized for the retrace, is to push for the swing, and then I have to make my decision process better on the push for the swing, right? So right now my goal is just to see if I can get to the fourth channel down there. And there's nothing that says that has to happen, right? So again, in Top Step, because of the $1,000 stop, I'm really limited to one contract there, right? It's a $50,000 account. It's just an experiment, right? But the goal is to push it from a swing perspective. I got the setup, so now the question is, well, how do I manage the scales and so on and so forth? And I haven't thought all that through. And the entry was on this bar here. All right, so pink bar, orange dot, star down, trap back in, after getting the pink bar up outside the channel. Right, so I'm just going through the talk process on this. I don't know that this project will work, by the way, that swing. I think it will, but it's just been too long since I've made the swings, and the swings really need to work from the long side, but I sure don't like the process long here at the pace that we have. I would like us to come break a low or break a swing or break something that says, hey, sellers have grabbed control, versus just constantly trying to push the up on the 10th or 15th day of whatever this whole move is, right? So I'll just relax into it. And you're going to have IB high and IB low stat. And I'm going to do just like Joshua would do. So I got the purple bar, so I'm going to put my stop. If this bar is pink, I'm going to wait till I get, so now I got the purple bar. So follow me, because this is going to get, I don't want it to be confusing. I got a super trap up here, right? Not a blue dot star, but I'm going to follow Joshua's same idea. Trap, trap, purple bar. I'm going to follow it till I get a pink bar up or get stop dot on it. Okay, that's my plan on this trade for Top Step, not on Apex, because you get severely penalized on Apex for doing that shit. Okay, so Top Step yes, Apex no. Is that making sense? Ed, did I explain that well? Is my mic on? It is. Mic check, mic check. Hey guys, can everyone hear me? Yeah. Okay, so did the explanation make sense about the Top Step versus the Apex versus a cash account? So what I'm trying to do is swing back for a test of IB low or get it down to the fourth channel for a cover. Dan, did that make sense what I'm doing here? Yeah, on a counter purchase. Okay. Yeah. It's the trailing drawdown, which there's none intraday, right? There's none intraday, so I can push that trade if it lines up with my thesis. Denali's Lou, Denali's the data feed I use. Top Step and Apex are like qualifying accounts if you're underfunded or you don't want to use your own capital to learn to trade the futures, right? And then you have your own cash accounts as well, I would assume, if you're trading those. And I'm just showing the difference in what approach you would use. So I'm using Top Step. I've gotten so focused on the scalps that I'm using Top Step to demonstrate how I would swing it if I was going to swing it. And so basically, see how over here, if I said, okay, this is a short, right? Well, I would have shorted this and try to get the push, scaled over here at the fourth channel. And then once I get the pink bar up, it's time to close out the trade, right? So now I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm trying to get the extension down, right? If I get a pink bar, if I get down here, I only have one contract, so I'm going to have to make a decision, right? One contract, and I'll either close it down here or I'll go, no, I think it can roll. I'm going to wait for the pink bar up. So the difference in those two programs is Apex penalizes you for letting the trade come back against you intraday, and Top Step doesn't. It's just an intraday drawdown from your prior day's P&L. It's either up or down from there, right? And so I'm managing that risk profile differently in each account, and then in my own cash account, that's exactly how I would do it. Take it. So the way I would do it in my own cash account, which I didn't do this morning because I'm juggling enough, but I will, is short entry here or here, depending on which chart, or here, get my risk off, and then push the daylights out of the trade, take some off at the fourth channel because I can trade size in my own account, and then pink bar to close out the trade. And that's a pretty easy formula to follow psychologically as well. So see, as we're coming down here, right? So if I can get down to that fourth channel on either one of these, I would take a scale down, or if I get a pink bar up, right? And I really don't want to mess with the longs here. Like, people are obviously trying to hold it here, and they might, because we're coming into that 9:30 period, right? So the risk is, like in Apex, I've already taken it off. So, and I'm up a stunning 4.75 points there. And the difference is because I've pushed this trade. So see that as we're almost to the fourth channel. So now I'll flatten it out, right? Because I don't do the whole convert it over to micros, right? It's just too much going on for me. But normally what I would say is, if you didn't have as much going on as I have going on, if you're one contract, take the one off, and then short 5 micros and use the pink bars to stop on the micros for the total trade package there, right? And so by doing that and making it binary, meaning I'm just trading the setup and I'm letting the odds work out through the course of the day, this is now, so now I'm up $720 in that account. Okay, but that's trading one contract. It's pretty binary there, right? So, and that exceeds the goal for that. All that account has to do is make $3,000. So on one contract, by taking this, right, I took a winner, a stop, and a winner over here. And the reason I took the stop is because I did not manage this correctly. Part of the process is managing what thoughts come through your head. Now you're managing, I should have closed that trade out here, but I thought I had the rollover. So what happened here, I'll tell you the sequence. I thought I had the rollover, right? And when it came back here, the hope that the rollover would happen superseded the stop, and I let it come all the way back against me and stop me out, actually, right? When I should have had the trade. So what I would have preferred to have done, there would have been 2 contracts short, either take risk off or cover one here, stop balance here, and then reshort up here off the 25 cent. It's moving slow enough, right? So now if this pink, so the way if I had 2 contracts, that 47 would be my stop as long as that prints pink, right? So that would be the end of that trade. That trade's over now, right? So it would be entry up here at 60, close out 46, scale out, either take your 1-for-1 scale to get your risk off, but even if you did that, right, then 3 contracts, 1-for-1 risk, scale out, stop in that process, right? So, and again, you'll see if you got to the 4th channel, so see, Ed, how you got purple bar, then you got orange dot, stop, minus, let's call it 8, and then re-enter on the trap for the rip. That goes back to our conversation from yesterday. Okay, and what you would have said was, okay, once I'm outside the channel, right? Once I'm outside the channel, so we could have posted that here, right? So once I'm outside the channel, I'm using the top of that curve relative to where we were. Now I'm looking for purple bars once I'm outside of it. And once I'm outside it, I get the purple bar. That was a trap into the orange dot and lift. Okay, and this is all riffing off of our conversation from yesterday, Ed. Okay, and now that we're back up here, again, the the problem with looking at this and going that short is that you're going to have buyers back inside here. They're going to push up back against you. And versus once we get an orthodox close underneath here, pushbacks in, you should be able to get algos to push down, and you'd want to push further. And then the last piece is your bigger extensions will come once you get underneath the 5-day moving average, which we're good, 500 points away, right? So what I'm trying to show you in real time in both styles is how to manage it. I don't know if I'm doing a good job or not. So Ed, am I explaining, Ed, or any of you guys in there, Dan, am I explaining the difference in thought process effectively, or is it adding confusion? I'd really like some feedback on it. If it's getting confusing, I can stop and just focus on the scalps. Okay. I've not changed process. I've changed order of process is all I've done to make sure we're down on that edge. And you'll notice I didn't flip it long when I probably should have, but it's a lot, as y'all know, when I switch up things, it's a lot to push over. And now I'm adding a fourth account effectively with that top step. But I'll get that qualified and we'll see how the swings work out. So now that I'm up here, right, I'm looking for a pink bar to form somewhere up out here, somewhere in this neighborhood, right? Or I can just go, hey, I'm just not shorting until I get underneath the IB low, right? I'll just wait for a retrace and work it from that perspective, right? So clearly I should have gone in on the trap right over here, but you just can't trade, explain, think, keep up with processes all at the same time. It's just not possible. I'd agree if this was fast, they would get smoked. You'd have to be a little more selective. What really I should have been on, according to process, is I should have been long. What we'd really want is an apex trap on this star over here. And then you'll also notice the combinations of blue dot stars. You should be paying attention to that at the fourth channel. But my goal is to show with that top step account how to swing it. That means I'm going to have a lot of trades that go in my favor, 5-10 points, and I'm not going to cover them, right? I'm going to let them come back to me because the goal is I'm going to swing from one side of the channel to the other side or further, right? And I'm going to have to combine that with what I'm doing on the micros and combine that with what I'm doing in my own account and all the other stuff I have going on and the teaching and the conversation all at once, right? So the way you adjust for that is you don't try to do it all at once. You go, I'm going to do one way or I'm going to do the other way. And then ask, as we cumulatively as a team, I got to tell you, figuring this piece out was a conversation between, that whole process started a day ago with Ed, then talking to Bill, then talking to Sean, and then doing some algo programming and figuring out process problems. And then it was just, I got to tell you, this idea came from Bill, and it was at the end of an exhaustive series of conversations where we were just kind of both like, F it, too freaking hard to figure this piece out, right? And then Bill really said, what you really need is we're putting the 25 cent in front of the horse. And he goes, it really needs to be in back of the horse, effectively. And that changed the whole perspective of how to use that entry. It was really quite insightful. I don't know that he did it on purpose, but it doesn't matter why he did it, just that he did it. Just me a second. tweezers top potentially. Again, if you wanted to try to make that what you look for is an orange dot down, you can't get it now. You still can. It can still wick down in. Or you're going for super trap. You may want to wait for pink bar to appear up over here. Orange dot down. Back in a minute. See if we can get this to work. And we're in here. Wow, the pace is depressing, huh? Some speed. You need that pink bar to form anyways up on the upside of the channel, so if you're looking for the short. New high, I believe. That 60 would be a super trap back in. Double pink on the outside usually is a precursor of some type of exhaustion, but again, within the context of buyers are in control completely, right? That trade below that IB low would be great. Above it, it's meh. Yesterday's high. You can still trap back in on that, a super trap back in at 65 if they'll give it to you. We're about to enter that 10-minute window where it's just buyers have it. Have we hit that 5,000 yet? Ta-da! New high, oh day. 65 is still a trap back in. All you're left with to do is short down here. Like, how else can you? What else can you do? If you're looking for longs, you're just snoozing away the day. There's nothing to do. I'll redo it. Let's see, F5. Data limiting, 3 days, okay. That's all I got, Ed. There you go. I changed it around a little bit, but not much. All I know is I'm not getting buried on a straight up market, and I'm good with that. I'll be back in a sec. Hey guys on YouTube, I'm glad you joined us. I let it run past the hour, so I'm going to kill it here. Have a great day. If you'd like to visit us, just TRADEnPERFORM.